Hello, beautiful light beams. Welcome to my channel, Soul-Led Spirit Driven. Today we're going to talk about clairvoyance. Are you clairvoyant? How do you know? And how can you develop this further and use it every day? My name is Kasha. I am an Akashic record reader, psychic medium. I have been doing this work for quite some time now. I've been delving into it for a bit, and it is pretty much like my everyday. So today I really want to share with you how to know if you're clairvoyant and how you can strengthen it, because it is my personal belief that your intuitive abilities, tapping into your intuition, your higher self, your guides, your Akashic masters has nothing to do with whether you are worthy or extra worthy, whether you're that special or even more special. It is your birthright. You are here to live a human life because your soul chose to have this experience, but also you're meant to remember where you came from. You're meant to remember these extraterrestrial, no, your special psychic soul senses. Now, there's a common belief that you are only psychic if you're clairvoyant. I don't believe that. And there's also a common belief that you are either clairvoyant or clairaudient or clairsentient or claircognizant. There's also clairgusto and clairalien, which is to do with smelling and tasting, but we'll leave them out for now. So, my personal belief, and from what I've experienced, what I have learned, what I have seen in my clients, is that we come into this world with all these senses. You are clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant. It's just a matter of which senses are more active right now. And of course, you can activate all of them. It's kind of like we can all, let's say, hear, but some of us have a really acute hearing, and therefore we can be little piano geniuses or music geniuses because we can hear the finer subtleties of the energy between one tone and another tone, which makes us a bit of a musical expert, right? Think about Mozart, for example, or Beethoven. But yet you still have the ability to hear. And of course, if you practiced, you can develop a more acute hearing. So the same as with your soul senses, your psychic abilities, your gifts, whatever you want to call them, is all the same. So, what is clairvoyance? Clairvoyance, for those of you who maybe don't remember, is clear seeing, which means that you can see beyond the physical. We're not using our human eyes to see, we're using a third eye to see. So your sixth chakra is where the action happens. It is also connected with your crown chakra, because that is the channel that allows information to come through, and then you see it either at the front, you might see it here, you might see it at the back, it all depends. And that is called subjective seeing, I believe. When you can see with your physical eyes, with your human eyes, and you see, let's say, spirit in a physical form, it is called objective. I think I'm right. I always get them mixed up, but I think I remember correctly from mediumship. Anyways, it doesn't matter whether you have objective or subjective. Um, if you can't see spirit with your human eyes, it doesn't mean that you don't have clairvoyance. If you can't visualize, it doesn't mean that you don't have clairvoyance. Because there's a little bit of a difference between visualizing and sort of actively creating images in your mind and being shown something. I have experienced this in myself and in my clients where we believe that we aren't very good at visualizing, but yet when guidance came through, be that in a past life session or be that perhaps as we're trying to connect with our guides and receive information, we received this information inwardly as a visual, and it happened in a mind's eye, so to speak. Now, I'm someone who really likes to understand the mechanics of this. Not that I'm very analytically minded, but I always like to know the process, the how, because we're dealing with such a lucrative, elusive, non-tangible. I mean, energy is not tangible, really. The ability to see spirit is such a personal experience, and yet, if we can share the mechanics between like how one person experiences it, how the other, it gives us a little bit of a comfort knowing that, oh, okay, I receive it like that as well. So I guess I'm on the right track. And while I want you to kind of feel like, you are on the right track, I also don't wish for you to ever compare yourself to anyone else. We are truly unique when we're here. We are truly one of a kind, and our experience and our abilities, the way they manifest in this physical world, is going to be very unique. We're all on different timelines. So just because someone who started with you in a class and has now made progress in a sense that they are seeing spirit like this, or they see spirit with their physical eyes, and yet you are still trying to navigate through the early beginnings of clairvoyance, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden overnight it's not going to speed you forward. Anything can happen. And the worst thing, I guess, that you can do is if you get very hung up on why it's not happening, am I on the right track? Or is this how it is? Or I'm probably not worthy enough or good enough, or maybe I'm not gifted, I'm not meant to be doing this, or any type of fear will hinder your clairvoyance, will hinder your gift. So the best way to approach this is to get excited, to have a sense of curiosity, of wonder, playfulness, and see it as a fun game instead of like, oh my God, live or die kind of, I have to get this right. See it as a bit of a fun thing. Fun thing. We're having fun. We're exploring new territories, new abilities. I remember when I first had my huge awakening many years ago now, and I started Googling, like, what is this? What does it mean? Before I even went to any psychic. And I had this feeling in my awakening, and I had this wonderful session where I was actually told by spirit that I am psychic, and what my strongest clairs are. But because I didn't really understand what this means, you see, I haven't studied this before. I have not played with any past lives. I haven't entertained it. Like, I guess I was spiritual more than religious, and I knew about tarot, about pendulums, about, sort of a little bit about energy from my mom and my grandmother. At the same time, it was a little bit taboo. So no one really encouraged it. No one really made this, no one ever taught me. So when this happened, I started Googling things. And I found a couple of really beautiful psychics, bloggers who shared actually on their blog how how to know whether you're psychic, how to know whether you're clairvoyant, how to develop these senses. And when I was reading it, I was devouring those blog posts. You don't understand. I was so excited. I felt like there was an old me. Then I had my awakening, my beautiful meditation session, and all of a sudden I have awoken as this, it was like a rebirth, a new person. I have all these superpowers, all these abilities. I was truly excited. I was truly excited for what's to come, for what can happen. And because of that, I've made progress very quickly. The right teachers crossed my path. Like the right experiences happened. My clairvoyance, like I had synchronicities happen in my life because I was open. I wasn't trying to approach it from an analytical mind, and that's probably because by nature, I am someone who is more intuitive, creative than analytically minded. I am more airy-fairy than grounded and focused. And I'm not saying this as a, you know, uh, shameful thing, or I'm not trying to make myself small. I'm telling you how it is. It's pretty much like that. I was the kid that was always off with the fairies in classroom, not paying attention. So it served me well when it comes to this stuff because actually the more you can get out of your head and be in that sort of open, excited state of being, the easier communicating with spirit will be. There is nothing analytical about connecting with spirit. Yes, we can talk about steps. Yes, in this video, I'm going to share with you practices that are rooted in, I guess, certain steps, certain things that you can do that seem like they are coming from an analytically minded place. But if you sit there and take notes and try and, um, try and track the progress or try to overanalyze, like, but how, but where, but when, am I doing it enough? You're going to get lost in that mind chatter and not be in your body enjoying the process. So let's go back to clairvoyance and the process and how it happens. And again, please understand the reason I'm sharing with you the process is because I know it helps me to actually see where does it drop in, what does it mean, how does it look. But after that, I want you to just relax. I want you to enjoy it because we've kept your mind satisfied with this sort of analytical information, and now you can enjoy the process of receiving guidance because you will receive it. It'll be imprinted. You will get impressions. You will be impressed upon. The information is impressed upon. So I'm using all these words that spirit uses to describe what happens. Okay, so clairvoyance is clear seeing. And like I said, you can see spirit with your eyes, but if you have never seen spirit with your eyes or you don't see spirit with your eyes, it doesn't mean that you are not clairvoyant. It doesn't mean that at all. The one hiccup that I had is when it was confirmed by the first psychic I went to that I am clairvoyant, I actually thought I'm going to wake up and I'm going to see spirit. I'm going to see spirit, a spirit like Patrick Swayze in Ghost. I always say this. That's what I thought, and it didn't happen. So, please don't think that if you can't see them, that you are not. In fact, most of the time you will see it in your mind's eye. So I usually generally see a screen. I see video, like images, especially with past lives. I see a story being played up. I feel like it's like surround sound. It's being played up. I'm there and I can describe it. The reason I know that's not my imagination and it is in fact being impressed upon me is because when I'm in a session with a person and I can see their past life coming on, I can say it fairly quickly. If it was my imagination, now, have you ever tried to imagine even just something that you design? Perhaps a holiday, and you were told you have to see the details. Where are you? What are you doing? And you're trying to recreate it. And as you're trying to see these images, your mind will probably go, okay, but where exactly are we? Are we by the pool? Is it warm? Okay, that holiday that we took 2 weeks ago, that was fantastic. Let's use that. Are we by the pool? Are we drinking cocktails? No, let's go by the pool. Okay, so who's going to be with us? At that holiday, we had Ange, and Ange, I don't really like her. I don't want her, messing up my vibe. So I'm not going to think about her, but I really love, Donna and oh my partner. I'm seeing them, because I get good vibes from them. See how we're trying to work things out, and I'm trying to see what is plausible, what will make sense, what will be acceptable. But and that takes a long time, right? Writing an Instagram post takes me sometimes an hour, and yet I can sit in a session and within seconds I am telling you, I'm seeing this, you're standing there, it's 1920 or it's 670. They're showing me this, they're killing you this way. I can tell you this, it's flowing. And that's because of clairvoyance. The images are showing to me that information is being offered to me, and I am just reporting back what I'm seeing. So when you close your eyes, and you can do this now unless you're driving. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes. But if you close your eyes for a moment, now imagine I am holding my hand out in front of you, and on my hand is a beautiful red apple. And that red apple has a green leaf, or maybe two leaves. Now, when you turn that apple around, so you got to figure out how you're going to turn it around. When you turn that apple around, on the other side, there's a hole and there's a little caterpillar eating its way through the apple. So see how you can see this now, and you can see it either really easily, or perhaps you see some, but you can't see the details, or you can't see the colors, or you can only do shapes, or you just don't see, but you know you're holding the apple. And this actually depends on the person's interpretation of what I describe to them. What I mean is, some people see the apple, see the leaf, they can easily change to its two leaves. They can see the colors. They may not see details like you would if it was a physical object, but that's enough for them to say, yes, I can visualize. Some people actually see that and they think, yeah, but I can't see the details, or I can't turn it around. And all of a sudden in their mind, they say, I can't visualize. I can only see vague colors, or I can't see the shape fully. All of that doesn't matter. All of it does not matter, because whether you can see a lot or you can't see a lot, it's about the information that comes through. Okay? You saw the apple, you saw that it was on my hand, you saw that it had one or two leaves, you saw the caterpillar, or you knew the caterpillar was there. It doesn't matter, right? Now, if this was a message from spirit, I always say with all of my students, whenever you're getting guidance and we're practicing, please tell me exactly what you saw. Describe what you saw. Don't tell me, I think I saw an apple. I couldn't quite turn it. It doesn't matter how many leaves it had. That's probably not relevant. Is it really relevant if I mention a caterpillar? Probably not. Who cares? Right now, you're judging and interpreting the information. But what is really, really important is that we describe exactly what we see. When you practice describing exactly what you see, what you're doing is you're relaying the energy, the information, the guidance, the way spirit wanted you to receive it or pass on to someone. It is not our job to judge or interpret. And this goes for this goes for professional readers, but also if you're doing it for yourself, because the moment you start judging what you're seeing, how well you see it, but I didn't really see the color, probably the color was relevant. The moment you start to do that, you dropped into your head, okay? Now your mind is seeping through and your mind's trying to give you answers. And so whatever comes next, you won't be sure whether it is clairvoyance or whether it is your mind providing you with data. So clairvoyance is clear seeing the images that appear in your mind's eye, in your head. Again, it doesn't matter whether they're front, they're back. It doesn't matter whether you see it. You might actually see it outside of you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how clearly you see it, or whether you see just symbols or still pictures or moving pictures. It does not matter. All of that is called clear seeing or clairvoyance. However, the more relaxed you are, the more in your body you are, as opposed to in your head, the less engaged you are with what is happening and how it's coming through, and judging and interpreting, and is this enough? Is this not enough? Was this something? Was it just my imagination? The more you do that, the more you're interrupting that connection, because For spirit, it is really, really, really hard to lower their energy enough to penetrate this um, veil of forgetting, or it's a thin veil that is that governs over the physical realm, and to penetrate it and deliver this message into through your crown into your third eye takes quite a lot of effort. And so if you start to engage the analytical mind and create that noise and chaos, it will make it even harder. That message will get lost there. So how do you know if you are clairvoyant? We know now that we can't go by whether you ever saw spirit with your physical eyes or haven't. We can't go by whether you are good at imagining things, visualizing things or not. Sometimes people may not see things in my meditations or see the things I'm describing to them when I take them on a meditative journey. And yet, when spirit brings through information, whether it's about their past lives, like maybe in a past life regression session, or brings through guidance or information from the Akashic records, they can see it. It's easy and effortless. Okay. So we can't go by that, but how do we know? How do we know? So I hope I gave away at the beginning that we all are clairvoyant. We all are clairsentient, clairaudient, claircognizant. Like we have all of those abilities. But perhaps at this very moment, maybe you have just awakened. Maybe you used to be quite open, but then something happened and you shut it down and you're coming back to it now. Maybe you have been focusing on only being that one thing because someone told you you can only be clairaudient, and so you're not even aware that you are also clairvoyant. And so clairvoyance has kind of taken a back seat. But trust me, you are clairvoyant. You are clairvoyant. And if you decide now, I would like to activate it, I would like to use clairvoyance. Maybe you've tried that and it hasn't worked. My guess is if it hasn't worked, there's some fear. Now, I have learned that there's such a thing as conscious fear and subconscious fear. Conscious fear is the fear that you are aware of. So I might be aware of, I am I was scared of spirit. Like I was scared of seeing something that would scare me. I don't know what, but I was scared. And I remember from a young age, and even as an adult, I was scared of the dark. I always felt like a presence around, like there's someone here. Even I remember when I was leaving my friend's house and it was dark, they had to walk me to the car and wait till I get in because I wasn't scared that someone was going to jump me or hold a knife to my head or whatever. Um, but I felt like I'm going to see something and that's going to scare me, right? Um, I can't even say that it was a vivid imagination from watching too many, scary movies because I'm not really someone who loves watching scary movies. So I've learned that I have this conscious fear of seeing spirits, seeing dead people, let's say it, right? And so I had to actually ask spirit, in order to do this, I want to see spirit. Like when I found out I'm clairvoyant and I'm able to connect with spirit, possibly with people's loved ones, I wanted to see them. So I had to say to spirit, fear or no fear, I want to see them. Please clear this for me. And so they cleared it in 2 nights, the subconscious and the conscious one. I was visited by spirit. Long story short, I was taught in my sleep how to react or not react to when spirit appears. And I could see them so much so that when I woke up, I thought I was dreaming. But I remember as this was happening and my heart was racing, I grabbed a crystal off my nightstand and I woke up still holding that crystal and I could describe everything. Now, usually with a dream, unless I say it straight away, I forget about it. Whereas this, I can still remember the visits, I can still remember the spirits that came, I can remember everything. So they said we have to clear not just the conscious, but the subconscious fear. Otherwise, that will be a block that kind of blocks you because you have free will. And so holding on to that fear is actually you saying, I'm using my free will. I don't want to see spirit. I'm too scared. So I said, fear or no fear, I want to see spirit. Disregard my fear. Help me get over this. I want to see spirit. So if you hold fear, if you're scared of who or what you will connect to, clairvoyance will be hard for you. All right, let's let me share some tips with you on how to strengthen it. Whether you have already clairvoyance and and you just want to make it extra potent, or you just found out you may have clairvoyance as well and you want it, these little practices will help you. So, number one, becoming more present and noticing things with your human eyes in your life is going to strengthen it for you. What do I mean? When you go for a walk, instead of maybe being on your phone or listening to something and kind of like not paying attention to your surroundings, be very intentional. As you walk, notice your steps. Notice what you see around you, the leaves. There's a purple flower, bend down, have a look at the flower, touch it. So when you become aware, when you draw focus to the present moment, to what is happening, you are actually strengthening a very important muscle, the muscle that when messages come through, holds on to it. Because often, and this happens to us newbies, when guides bring messages in, you get so excited. Like, oh my God, I think that was something. I think that was them talking to me. Oh my God, I just saw something. Poof, it goes away. So you have to learn to hold it. And the best way to do it is by practicing being present so that you don't miss the cues. I mean, do you know how many things we miss because we're so absorbed in, we're so absorbed in like what we're doing or on our phones, we're so distracted. Go for a walk by yourself with the intention of I'm going to pay attention to what I see. When you go shopping, pick up fruit, notice the texture, smell it. Again, that simple act brings you into the present moment and it kind of creates a data bank. This is the other important thing. It creates a data bank so that if spirit shows you this weird looking fruit, you know what it is. It will start to activate your senses, your smell, a memory of that fruit, right? What it looks like, what it feels like, what it tastes like. It will show you. It will show you even how you felt, and that might be the connection there. So, by paying attention to what is around you, by exploring different things, like just even when you go shopping or when you go on your regular walk, perhaps take a different turn, you are creating actually a very rich database from which spirit can pull cues. Because here's the thing, if you never saw or tasted honey, and spirit was showing you this golden liquid dripping down, how would you know it's honey? And again, remember, you can't judge. You have to describe it. You can't say, oh, it's this thick, golden, sweet tasting liquid, so it must be honey. Could be wax, right? Could be stripping wax, could be amber from, from a tree or sap from trees. But when you know it's honey, it's like, no, out of all these three liquids, this is the one. Perhaps your taste is activated as well, right? Perhaps you start seeing a bee with it. And then you can see, yes, a bee and the golden syrup that I'm seeing must be honey. So paying attention is number one. Number two, there's a great exercise that I love doing with my students. We used to do it in Liberato. I want you to close your eyes for this exercise. Let's do it together. If you're not driving, close your eyes. And I want you to see a table. It doesn't matter what kind of table you decide, whether it's a wooden, a glass, whether it's solid, whether it's decorated, whether it has a cloth on it. So see a table. Don't overthink it though. Now see a vase standing on that table. Again, it's your call what the vase will look like, but don't overthink it. And now I want you to see yourself holding 5 flowers. Doesn't matter what flowers, but do notice what kind of flowers you're holding. Is it 5 sunflowers? Is it 5 tulips? Is it a mixture of flowers? Notice the colors. Notice the shape. And you actually can see yourself holding the flowers, the long stems. Now walk over to the table. Place them in a vase. I want you to arrange them without overthinking. If you are a florist or have a green thumb, please don't overthink the arrangement. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing. You place your flowers. You can see them being put in one by one. You can see them sitting in a vase. And now I want you to smash the vase. You can do it with your hand. You can throw it. You can use an object. Smash the vase. And you can see the vase being smashed into little pieces. Perhaps it hits the wall. Whatever happens, notice as it lands on the floor. Notice the broken vase. Notice the flowers. That's it. Visualizing this little scenario as often as you can. When you're waiting at the doctor's, when you're waiting for your children to come into the car from after school activities, when you are uh, standing in a queue. Visualize it quickly. You don't have to close your eyes. Actually, the goal is to not close your eyes eventually, but to start off, close your eyes and try and see as much detail as you can. And this strengthens the muscle that will allow you to see as much detail as possible. I promise you, this is a fast tracking practice that will see you see with so much details guidance when it comes through in a really, really short amount of time. I use this also to practice mediumship to see spirit because it's all in the finer details without overthinking. So, my last exercise for you is to notice next time when you've asked for guidance, notice how it is delivered, notice how it comes. Where does it land? Where does it sit? Just notice how you receive it. Of course, express gratitude. Thank you. I got the message. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Akashic Masters. Thank you, angels, whoever you speak to. Notice it. And then when you receive it, please don't doubt it. Please don't question it. Just receive it and be grateful for it. And that will amplify it because it's like Spirit goes, oh, there's the connection. We've received it. She's got the message. And that's the way we're going to keep delivering it to her. Please know it doesn't matter whether you ever saw spirit with your human eyes, whether you were that kid that saw, old grandma who passed away sitting at the end of the bed, or you didn't. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. It doesn't matter when your awakening happened. Could have been yesterday, could have been half an hour ago, and now you found this video. It doesn't matter whether you see spirit with your physical eyes now or in your mind's eye. It doesn't matter whether you can visualize or can't visualize, whether you're creative or not. You are clairvoyant and you can strengthen it and you can use that ability. And the practices that I shared here with you today are designed to help you strengthen that muscle. It's like we're going into a gym for clairs, and each exercise that you do will strengthen that muscle, making it a little bit more potent, a little bit easier to hold that information. So I hope this was helpful for you. And I would love if you would subscribe and like this video and share. if you would like to share your insights, your experience. I would love to read your comments. Thank you, beautiful light being, and until next time, have a great, lovely, wonderful day.